Good morning, all. Happy Friday to you, wherever you are. It's been a little bit, so I figured I'd just pose an update. Haven't really been up to too much. I'm just kind of trying to plan what's going on, honestly. Mostly construction things around the house. But for the garden, today I'm going to try like the no-dig method. Some call it lasagna gardening. I'm not going to follow the recipe exactly at all. It seems too labor intensive to me, even though it's like a labor saver, sitting there layering like 17 layers. That's why I don't even make my own lasagna. It's too much work. I prefer going with the big agriculture no-till method, which is basically mimicry on a larger scale. So what I do agree with, though, is put down some form of base barrier of a decomposable or compostable material like newspaper, cardboard, some wood chips, some straw, whatever. This has been sitting for a while, and it's reduced in size quite a bit, so it has decomposed slightly since I've got over the past couple months. So all I'm doing is basically establishing a path there. That's where I'll walk, and then this huge bed right here is going to be 4 feet-ish wide. And I'm going to take all of this compost, after I put some cardboard down, just move it over. Then I'm going to extend it a little more, leaving myself a path to walk over here. And then, yeah, we'll see how it goes. As a new farmer, first generation, I'm running into a problem with trying to find the best methodology to adopt, right, and go with. Because I can do whatever. I can go full chemical, a pumpkin as big as your truck, or I can go full organic with, I guess, a pumpkin as big as a normal pumpkin. But, you know, it's hard to tell. Because when you ask an industry, hey, what method's the best? They look you, ours, of course. And everybody says it. So it's tough. And I just got to do my own experimentation. Because not many people out there do, like, really detailed documentation of what's going on. And I'm one of them, you know. I'm not like a scientist sitting here with a lab coat making notes every day. I'm just going by my gut saying, oh, that worked good. Oh, that didn't work at all, you know. Just kind of a more relaxed form of it. But everything seems to be going well. This stuff was like wilting a lot because the sun was hitting it pretty badly. But after I went back and added this shade cloth along the side, everything pretty much bounced back. This lettuce here is doing great. These are really big, getting there to produce whatever they're going to make. Look at this loofah gourd here. Look at how prolific it is. Yep, I also pulled all the tomatoes mostly. I cut them back. They were on their way out, not producing anything, so whatever. As soon as I did that, all the peppers were like, thank you! I can finally get some sun on my leaves. What are you doing? So all the tomatoes are like pulled back, really gangly looking. And then all the peppers are starting to flush out right here. If we actually go in and look at them, they're doing so good. If I can focus, there we go. That they're starting to put out a ton of different new flowers. Lots of new growth. All the green. This set of plants, all these capsicums or the bell peppers, they have been yellow their entire freaking lives, basically. And I think it's because of the competition from the tomatoes. They're really heavy stealers of water and nutrients and stuff. So I'm glad to finally get some bell peppers. I actually love bell peppers more than tomatoes. I don't know why I did that. I read somewhere that bell peppers make great companion plants for tomatoes, but maybe they just meant further away. Also, kind of just out here making observations about the layout of things, what I want to change, you know. The changing of seasons is a great time for gardening and cropping, I guess, to change what you've been doing. It's a good opportunity. Just switch it up. I made an error when I created this first Zuni waffle garden set, in that I have no access. Over here, I can step over, but you can see I've collapsed it a few times. And this is really soft because you can't tell, but that's all potting soil and really good soil underneath here. So what I do is I usually come over here and then take a huge, 3-foot step over, try not to fall, and then here I am. And the problem with this is that with my tomatoes, I would have to do half of my harvesting inside here and the other half on the other side. So that's something I'm changing. And what I'm going to do is, this is a perfect spot right here. Unfortunately, this is all going to get pulled in winter anyways, but then I'll just remove this and then there'll be a little pathway to here. Something I should have thought of first, but didn't. So I'm going to take this coming season as an opportunity to correct it. All my other stuff is kind of not doing well. I missed the main planting season for here by focusing on potatoes. This garden's way late in the game. Potatoes totally failed, by the way. Do an update on that at a later date. So I put these in late. I've still got a lot of produce from them. And so I'm excited to keep on going with just like the family garden. It's doing really well. It's really enjoyable. It allows me to perform tests that are cheaper on smaller scale and to still get good information, Like my test with the potatoes was a terrible idea. I did a whole field, completely committed, huge failure. Very disappointing, discouraging. Failures like this, it's like, whatever. A squash plant died, big deal. But when I have like a whole field and months of work fail, that sucks. And so what I'm going to try to do from now on is actually do testing in a smaller setting that will be scalable to larger scale. And I know lots of people probably are laughing at me like, yeah, duh. Well, I gotta figure it out. Just kind of checking it out. This is all gonna go. I don't really like this system, how I had it set up. It was more of like an emergency transplant for these, which it worked and they survived and produced. After this season's done, this wooden thing is going to get kicked outside for storage of some junk. Maybe put like a lid on it and put like all my fertilizers and stuff in there. And I'm probably going to duplicate what I'm going to do here just on this side. And a thinner one, not 4 feet, because I can't reach 4 feet across from one side. Don't want to be in this situation again over here. That's pretty much it. This plant, which was perpetually dying, got a permanent shade, and now its leaves are very green. It's doing wonderfully. This plant was pretty much always on its way out. So shade is the secret for red currant berry, if you're wondering. This thing I took out was doing great. All my trees are doing great. The succulent that took over this pot is just thriving. Don't know if it's possible, but after the succulent moved in, this thing, which wasn't doing anything, started producing these huge fat leaves. So I wonder if they're somehow sort of companions, or if this is helping it out somehow. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for the mini update on the Zuni waffle garden. That's its current state. Gonna put in a bed here, and then go over do the same thing, pathway, same thing, pathway. And then that will pretty much finish off this garden. I'll have one perimeter, the perimeters planted with beds, and then have beds in between with pathways around it. Nothing fancy, just trying to maximize what I can plant here. There's a lot of open space, but I'm glad I didn't plant the whole garden because I would have got overwhelmed and killed the whole thing. Slow and steady as she does it. Well, this is boring. So I got cardboard. I know supposedly you're not supposed to use shiny stuff, but guess what? It's all I have. Pretty much every cardboard box is shiny that is made these days. Anywho, breaking them down, laying them flat. Then I'm going to take all this and push it over. Almost there. About 5-6 feet done. I'm going to take this opportunity to sweep this over before the wind picks up. Geez, one thing they don't tell you is that cardio would help you as a farmer. Alright. Got the sides flipped up, bucket supporting it so don't fall over, bag supporting it, same thing. So I can kind of get an idea. You're supposed to have like 6 inches supposedly or something like that of this type of stuff. And The boards are 5.5, so that'll do. So I'll just kind of heap it, get back to my broom sweeping it, and almost done with half of it. It's really not too bad, I guess, compared to digging, but it is work. Got to take this board, move it a little this way. This path's not as wide as I'd like. I'm trying to make it end around there, but might end around here. Whatever. Almost done. So 1 yard can do like 12 feet by 3 feet by 6 inches tall without an issue. Have a little left over. Cool. After this is done, Bianca's out and about. She's going to grab me a water tote, and then I need to add a bunch of nitrogen, soak this down as much as I can, and then over the next few months it's going to shrink even more. But this is just planning, you know. I'm probably going to repeat the same thing over here. Try all sorts of different methods in this garden. See what sticks. There she is. One no-dig, half-done bed. I better be careful what I call this or Charles Dowding's going to come smack me around. But basically, it's just a bunch of organic matter, okay? Obviously, it's missing in the desert. So, my goal is to stop the weeds that are already there on the ground from coming up through this by adding the cardboard, which will act as a barrier and also slowly decompose into more nutrition for the plants. Then, after I add a ton of nitrogen, this will slowly decompose into very rich organic matter, which the plants will love to grow in. Now, I'm not making this a raised bed. I know it just looks like I made a raised bed, but I'm not. It's just a form board. I'm going to come soak this down and then take all the boards off. I'm going to be creating a very dense population of very beneficial microorganisms here that are probably not present anywhere else in the sand. So, I'm going to take these boards off as soon as it will hold its form in that kind of rectangle. Then all the microbes will be able to spread wherever they want to. Any beneficial pests or not will be able to traverse back and forth. Same with predatory insects. Yep. We'll see how it goes. That's all I have for today, everyone. Really appreciate you watching. Hope you have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend, alright? Go grow some stuff and make it a good one. See you soon.